Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Daily Lessons Podcast, and today is going to be episode number 14. We've officially recorded a single episode every single day for 14 days straight, which is 2 weeks. I don't know about you guys, but I consider that accomplishment. Try doing anything for 14 days straight. It's pretty hard, especially when it comes to video recording and just editing. I know we only have like 219 subscribers, but hey, I don't care because over the past week, I've gained 11 subscribers. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button on this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel because today we're going to be talking about how to become like David Goggins. Okay. Now, this video in particular, it's not going to be one of those videos where we're just obsessing over David Goggins, the person himself, but this is kind of just a video about becoming who you actually want to become like, okay? The reason why I pick out David Goggins is because he's a very polarizing figure, right? He's on this level of extreme that I feel like we have this innate desire to just kind of chase. I know I do. Like, I would love to be like an Ironmaner, an ultra marathon runner, just a badass in life in general, right? Like, he's accomplished so many things and he's lived so many different lifetimes in just one life. And I find that extremely impressive. Now, I also read his book, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I do recommend it to anybody that is interested about his life or just, in the self-help space as well. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. But what I really want to talk about is that why do we have this innate desire to become like somebody? Like, why do we see this shredded guy at the gym and we're like, man, I really wish I could beat that guy? Why do we look at the guy who's pulling up in a Lamborghini and we're like, man, I really wish I was in that Lamborghini, right? Or I really wish I was that guy. Why do we look at David Goggins where we're like, man, I really wish that I could be David Goggins? Okay. Now, we like to not be these people in particular, but we want the trophies that these people have, right? We want the body that they have. We want like the massive biceps that the guy at the gym has. We want the Lamborghini that the person has. We essentially want the trophies of life that these people have that we don't have in particular, right? Some people have time. Some people have money. Some people have women. So many different peoples have so many different trophies, and I'm not trying to dehumanize anybody here. I'm just calling them trophy because these are accolades in life that you get eventually, right? Once you're successful. So we want to go ahead and get those accolades and get those trophies. So how do we exactly do that? How do we become like David Goggins? Well, we know what the goal is. We know that, hey, I want to be this person. I want to be an ultra marathon runner. I want to be a badass in life. What do we have to do from there? Right now, a lot of people like you guys might be saying like, oh, well, it's not possible. I've tried everything. I think one thing that we don't necessarily try is that we don't try to reverse engineer the problem, or we don't try to reverse engineer the solution. We say that, hey, we want to move from a couch potato, which I'm currently, and I want to go to exactly like David Goggins, right? We don't want to take steps in between. We want to go from A to Z. So from couch potato to ultra marathon runner, that's what we want. We don't want anything else. We just want to go from A to Z, and we want to make that jump. Instead, if you try to reverse engineer the problem, you'll easily see that you need to go step by step. And this is where David Goggins' book Can't Hurt Me, comes in. I read that book a couple of months ago, and it gave some really good insight into his life and just his mentality and how this person was raised. Like, this guy had a really traumatic and terrible life while growing up. His dad was abusive. His dad was so abusive to the point where he used to have nightmares and where he would pee himself in bed because of those traumatic experiences. And he's just been through so many things in life. Now, what you see David Goggins as today, he wasn't always like that. He became that person. He wasn't always this, skinny figure, this shredded guy who has the pull-up record, by the way. He was a fat guy and he was an exterminator, and he made the decision that, hey, he wanted to change. So if you want to follow in his footsteps, you have to also put in the work that he also put in, right? You have to become that person, you eventually have to do all the work and all the effort. And what I mean by that is that you need to take the first step, right? If you want all of those accolades, if you want everything that he is today, you need to put in the work. So David Goggins, what he actually used to do is that he would go out for a run. It'll probably be like a 6-mile run or something. And this is before the David Goggins that we know today. This is literally just so he can actually qualify to becoming, I think it's a U.S. Marine at the time. And he needed to lose about like 100 pounds in 90 days. And he did that, right? He ran for like 6 miles, and then he came back home and he rode the bike for like another 10 miles. He was just insane. Okay. And you have to reverse engineer the exact goal that you want. If you want to become a marathon runner, you can't just run 26 miles. By the way, I'm a half marathon runner. I just want to point that out there. Don't ask me for my time because it's completely embarrassing, but it's one of the accolades that I have in my life. You have to start with 1 mile. You have to at least get out of the couch, right? You have to just do anything that it actually takes. If you see a person with big biceps, then you can go ahead and you can say, okay, this person probably put in tens of thousands of just repetitions, of sets, of hours in the gym. How can I attain that? All right, cool. This is what I'm going to do. This is my workout plan. And eventually I'm going to get that bicep that he has, or the accolades that David Goggins has, or anybody has, or any successful person has, right? Obviously, to talk about it, it's extremely easy, right? Doing it is hard, but it requires action, and you have to just go ahead and reverse engineer. And instead of going from A to Z in your life, you need to make sure that you're going from A to B. Okay. If you're not going to the gym today, make sure you're going to the gym tomorrow. Okay. That's your first step. That's your step from A to B. You can't just go from, oh, I am going to become an ultra marathon runner tomorrow, and you start running a marathon. It doesn't work that way. You're overweight, you're not in condition. Your legs are going to give out. Your body is going to shut down on you before you even reach like the half line mark, right? I may or may not know that from experience, but please, don't ask, okay? And you have to just put in the work, and you have to reverse engineer the problems to become like David Goggins, okay? If you want to become like somebody like him, you need to put yourself through the same shit that he put himself through, okay? I'm not talking about like the childhood trauma. I am talking about the thousands of hours that he has running on his body. That's what you need to subject yourself to. Sometimes, and here's the funny thing about life, right? Sometimes we think we want things, and we want these accolades, and we want that body that somebody else has today, and we start chasing it, and quickly we'll realize I don't want to do this work for an extended period of time, so I'm just going to be fine without it. It happens at times. But guess what? You'll probably pick up another ideal, and you'll want to chase that, and you'll keep on going and chasing that as well. So that's how you kind of become like David Goggins. You want the trophies that he has, put in the work that he has. You want the accolades that he has, put in the practice that he has as well. He didn't just become an ultra marathon runner overnight. He spent a decade on it. And I really do recommend reading his book as well. Can't Hurt Me by him. Great book, great insight into his life as well. And just a badass of a human being, man, honestly. But either way, this was episode number 14. How to become like David Goggins. Thank you so much for listening to me. Make sure to hit that like button, and make sure to hit subscribe on the channel as well if you haven't already. This is Yusha signing out. Bye, guys.